You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. All right, LSU's up to 14 commits for the class of 2023. On Friday, it was Jaylen Brown, the five-star wide receiver out of Miami, who pledged. And on Saturday, Whit Weeks, linebacker out of Georgia, picked the LSU Tigers. Of course, if the name sounds familiar, it should. Whit Weeks' brother, West Weeks, just transferred into LSU from Virginia. So he's a sophomore linebacker now with LSU and kind of building some depth there at that position for 2022 and hopefully beyond. So Whit Weeks is committed to LSU, 6'2", 205. When I think there's two things that I look at whenever you look at a commitment and how you're going to gauge your excitement or the level of player that you got. Number one would be you could always look at the star ranking, how many stars he is, or things like that. Player ranking, and so Whit Weeks is a 3-star, and nationally he's ranked number 610 in the 247 composite. He's the 51st best linebacker in the country. So with that respect, not very highly rated, okay? But I say there's two things to look at. That's one. Two, who offered him? And Whit Weeks picked LSU over Georgia and Oklahoma. So if you're going to ask me, hey, what would you put more stock in? The recruiting analyst ranking or coaches from LSU, Georgia, and Oklahoma offering the kid? I'm going to say, yeah, LSU, Georgia, Oklahoma offering the kid. Supposedly freakishly athletic and fast, ball skills and all that stuff, but is physical and plays linebacker, 6'10", or 6'2", 205. When you're 6'2", you obviously have room to put weight and muscle and mass on that body. He's a rising senior, so hasn't even played his senior year of high school just yet. So I think there's a lot of reason to be encouraged about Weeks and his potential development there. But it kind of got me thinking, when you look at this class, there are prospects in it that are not super highly rated. If you look at, we mentioned Whit Weeks is a 3-star. Ashton Stamps, the cornerback out of Rummel, he's ranked number 839 overall in the country. Jeremiah Hughes, cornerback out of Bishop Gorman in Vegas, who was with us last week. He's a 3-star, ranked number 625 nationally. So you have some prospects committed in this class that aren't necessarily blue chippers. They're not the highest rated. But I am not going to, by the way, completely discount the rating and ranking system. Because when you look historically at recruiting classes, there's one thing that's always just very, very clear, and it's the top the programs that have the top recruiting classes in the country year after year after year are the best college teams on the field. Last year, A&M, Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Michigan. You don't need me to run through the list, but you all just know this to be a fact. The teams that are the highest ranked recruiting classes are the best teams. 2021 class, Bama, Ohio State, LSU, Georgia, Clemson, Oregon. You get the picture. So I'm not going to discount or discredit altogether the recruiting rankings. What I will say is this. For as long, and I am not a recruiting guru. You know that. I will never claim to be. I'm not out watching high school games. I'm not watching film. I'm not looking at 247 profiles. When signing day comes around, I'll know what I need to know. What I do know as a general thesis, though, is this. If your coaching staff knows what it is looking for and properly manages its roster, then you're going to find guys that develop and come into their own in your system. I think the 2017 class, that was the last class that Les had recruited, that was Ed's first full class. That 2017 class These were the 3 stars in that class. Justin Jefferson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Damian Lewis, Neil Farrell, Racey McMath, and Torrey Carter. You think they knew what they were looking for? Do you think that staff knew how, at that point, knew how to evaluate talent and what they were looking for? Remember, that was the last class that Les had recruited, and then Ed became the full-time head coach and finished that class. Basically the same position where Brian Kelly was just in. Look at all those guys. They knew what they were looking for. They knew what they were looking for in a prospect. And so my thing is, do you trust Brian Kelly and this staff to say, I'm looking at Whit Weeks, I'm looking at Ashton Stamps, and I'm saying, I don't care what the star rating is. I see a dude at 6'2", 205 that can fly, that has a mean streak and physicality. We can take that dude, put 20 pounds of muscle on him over the next 2 years, and then you have a starter and a 100-tackle dude in the SEC. I like that approach a lot. And I went back just to kind of either confirm or disconfirm this. I went back and looked at LSU's linebackers over the last decade that they've signed. Damone Clark was ranked 357. He just led the country in tackles. Jacob Phillips was a 5-star, ranked number 61 overall. Patrick Queen was ranked number 298, so just inside of the top 300. Devin White was a 4-star running back, so he was rated as a running back, number 135 in the country. Kendall Beckwith was the highest rated. Well, forgive me, Jacob Phillips was. Kendall Beckwith was number 74 overall. Quan Alexander was in the top 100, ranked number 94. Deion Jones was a 3-star, ranked number 381. And Duke Riley was a 3-star, ranked number 539. Pretty good hit rate on all those guys, right? From as high as Jacob Phillips at 61 to as low as Duke Riley at 539. But all ended up playing and all ended up being really good SEC players. They knew what they were looking for. They knew what skill set they were looking for and how to develop that position. Matt House is a linebacker guy. I think he knows what skill set he's looking for in a player, which makes me excited about this class and the guys that they're putting together right now. By the way, for what it's worth, the highest rated linebacker that LSU took in the last decade was Clifton Garrett. I mean, I wish it had worked out differently for Clifton Garrett, but if you don't remember, Clifton Garrett was a 5-star. He was a top 30 player in the country. He was here for 1 year, went to Tigerland way too much, never got on the field, transferred out. I think he ended up at UAB. I'm not positive. But sometimes you know what skill set you're looking for and what character you're looking for as well, and how that's going to fit into your team concept. I think they got a good one. Look, that's 2 times now they've brought a Weeks linebacker brother to Baton Rouge. Clearly, there's something they like in these guys. So with West this year and then Witt coming aboard next year, I have a chance to watch a lot of Weeks linebackers in Baton Rouge over the next 4 seasons, maybe 5. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.